Case Hampton, baseline filming. Okay, coming in, you got big legs, wide shoulders. You're a big old Hampton boy, and I think you're a little bit too narrow. You don't have enough space to operate, to throw down through the legs real hard and aggressively, so we need to widen you out just a touch. And my suggestion is not only that, but to take the toes out slightly. That gets the knees pointed outward. When you sit down into the stance, go ahead and just push your knees out over the toes. That's going to maximize our space between the legs without getting too wide. The important thing is make sure your load bearing's on the quads, not creating tension up in the hip flexors. That's going to slow you down and screw up the motion. Okay? Let's go ahead and have you face the camera and set up over the ball to see what that stance is looking like now. Okay, go ahead and sit into it. Now, does that feel comfortable? Weights here, not here? Okay, looking good. Go ahead and stand up and go back to where you were. Other things we're working on. A little underextended. Coming into camp, boy, that ball is just right up underneath you like this, and you're a little flat-footed. When you're flat-footed, the only way you can drive your legs is kind of straight up like a hack squat. We need that leg drive to be off the balls of the feet, back through the hips a little bit, so that we can capture that motion energy, combine it with what's coming down the spine, and direct it straight at our target in an arrow point, right? You've been hearing that for a lot of years, haven't you? Okay, so we need to get you on the balls of your feet. And then the underextension led to one problem that's a big concern. It's because you have no arm extension to throw the ball. You're going like this and then throwing down and through. A massive arm hitch. Throw hitch is what we call it. So pretty much all of that can be corrected by just getting you set up right. And we saw that. There was one other thing I asked you to do to help with the throw hitch. Do you remember what it was? No? I was hoping you did, because I'm kind of blanking right now, too. I think it had to do with ball tilt a little bit, didn't it? No, it didn't? Well, let's look at it. Maybe we'll remember. Go ahead and set up. We're going to three-step you, and we'll figure it out. You got to cut an old guy some slack here. I got to rely on these young memories. All right. You ready? Yep. Okay. I'm going to pull you forward. Go ahead and lean on the ball. That gets your knee bend to 90 degrees or less. It straightens the back and fully extends the arm. I'm going to raise you up, maximizing your operating room under your torso. Then I'm going to push you back into the hips towards your target till the heels touch the ground, the knees are over the toes, you're solid on your feet. Now, you're a blind snapper. You want your shoulders to hip slope to be fairly horizontal to the ground. We don't want to be frog squatting where you're pointed to the ground. We don't want to be rear end high, tall in the saddle where you're going to throw the ball high. So pretty flat, okay? Can you sit into it a tiny bit more? Raise that front end, and we got that ball a little farther out in front of you so that you're balanced. Go ahead and let her rip. How's that feel? Very solid on the feet. What were you telling me? You were falling over? Yeah. Just a matter of getting you balanced. Hill drills, hill drills, hill drills. Okay? Now, the other thing I told you, you got all the power you're ever going to need. You got enough power to go to any level of the game and throw it hard enough. You're overkilling it just a touch. I need you to go from the 100% kill shot back off to about 97%. That's going to smooth you out, and it'll actually be faster, believe it or not. Because when you're muscling it the way you are, that tightens up the muscles. It actually slows down the motion. If you can loosen that up just a touch, you're going to come through faster and more efficiently. It's not as much about power as it is about quickness, efficiency, getting rid of the ball fast. When we did that, you're throwing massive D1 balls right in the gut of the punter every time this morning. And that's where you need to be. So let's see one more time. Okay, so the ball was short. When we started out, you were squatting and you were deep, right? Is that what we said? Flat-footed, flat-footed. You weren't too deep. You were underextended. Okay, so what we did, we pulled the ball out in front of you, raised the front end relative to the back, flattened the back a little bit. Is that comfortable? Weight on the quads. Balanced. Let her rip. Okay, and you backed off 3%? I'm not sure you did that time, but you still look pretty smooth. That's a pretty massive throw. Let's make sure that hitch ain't there too, okay? So let's get you in there. I think you're a little tall on the back end. If you can comfortably sit a little deeper, you're going to be better off, which is what I've been trying to get you to do. You sit a little deeper? There you go. Now you're on the balls of your feet. You and Ben tend to get a little bit weight back sometimes. Right there. Let her rip. Okay, not bad. Now, last thing to think about. Let's see a football there if you don't mind, Lynn. Thank you. In a perfect world, we scoop the ball through, right? Scoop it through. And I think the thing I was telling you to think about was imagine keeping your knuckles right at the top of the blades of grass as you come through. I want you to pull that ball through with your knuckles brushing the grass. Let's see what happens. That's not what I told you this morning, but we've corrected 85-90% of the hitch already by setting you upright, so we're doing okay. Knuckles to the grass. A little bit of pickup. You're going to need some work on that. We'll keep doing it the next couple days. Now, what I can tell you, a hitch where the ball's coming forward and up, that's going to cause you no end of grief, and the defense could probably cause you a lot of trouble. If the ball is picked up slightly as you're coming through, that's going to keep you from dragging it on the ground, and the pull-through is so quick, especially with you, that you're never going to have trouble with defense or anything like that. But you definitely don't want to be telegraphing to the defense what's going on. So to the extent we can get rid of the pickup and throw, I think it's going to help you. Let's try ball tilts one time, too, because I think that may really benefit you. And Lynn, we'll be with you in just a second. Sorry for the length of this one, but need to get this addressed. Okay? Now, when we tilt the ball, you might need to bring it a little closer for comfort. How's that feel? Pull it down and through. Let's do this. Let's leave that open for experiment. Play with it this afternoon. Find what you feel gives you the best result, and then just quicken up the throw and get it through there. You got any questions? Drive back through the legs, like dodging an inside pitch with the drive off the balls of the feet, okay? Feeling comfy? Comfortable? Okay. There it is. Looking good. All right, let's do one. All right. Okay. Don't want fairly horizontal, shoulders to hips. Let it rip at 97%. There it is. Looking good. You feel all right? Okay, let's rotate you back to